Said 3 clicks, and that eliminates a family. Could be innocent, it makes no difference. So we have remote killing now. But God said don't kill. Somebody said today, yes, but Peter, the child bombers, I mean, they have been conditioned, and the suicide bombers to do all this. Yes, but these people have nothing else left to fight with. I'm not condoning them. I don't support anybody. But they are just giving their last, because as I say, they can see them a mile away. So, you know, they lace on their, strap on their explosives, and they go to do their business. Now, this is some of the checklist of things we have got to pay for. Slavery. 110 million at least crossed the Atlantic from Africa. Only 10 million survived. The various wars, the million people that have been killed in Iraq, and another million injured, the children without any care, and food denied to the Palestinians, and even denied to the people living in their own country, in the United States, in the United Kingdom. As I say, I've got no special love for any particular people. I treat all people the same. But these merciless killings are going on worldwide. Depleted uranium. You've seen the pictures. You've seen the pictures. I've put them up here before. Those people are living in hell right now. But in the days of Noah, violence also stalked the earth. And we must reap what we have sown. Galatians 6:7, be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Because he doesn't reap it speedily, doesn't mean he will not reap it, because he will. In 1 Peter 4:17, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? And listen to this. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? It's not if you think you are righteous. It is if the eternal God classifies you as righteous. He says you are barely saved. Well, hell is real. I was showing you that many people are living through a living hell right now. But hell is not just a physical, but a spiritual experience also. The lake of fire is also real. You got choices to make. Revelation 20:10, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. You know, in Luke 10:15, Christ said, and thou, Capernaum, which art exalted to heaven, shall be thrust down to hell. And that applies to us. Just the same, because God is not a respecter of persons. Is hell real? Well, let's take what Christ says. Mark 9:43. And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having 2 hands to go into hell, into the fire that shall never be quenched. Verse 44. Where the worm dieth not and the fire is not quenched. Verse 45, Mark 9. And if thy foot offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter halt into life than having 2 feet to be cast into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched. Mark 9:46, where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. 47, and if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out. It is better for thee to enter into the kingdom of God with 1 eye, than having 2 eyes to be cast into hell fire, where their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. According to Christ, hell exists. And it's real. Now I've heard these people tell me, I've had them, one of the churches I went to say, well, you can't have a fire that won't completely obliterate a body. It obliterates it and that's it. A worm eats a body and that's it. Not really, is it? We are essentially spirit beings. Therefore, when our body decays to the dust, we are buried or cremated, that's not the end. Anybody who wants to kill themselves, they need to go and ask themselves, after I kill myself, and then what? Because your spirit still lives. That's what the Bible tells us. Your spirit goes back to God who gave it to you in the first place. And then God gives it an immediate judgment. Not the final white throne judgment of Revelation, but He immediately assigns it either to a place of torment, which we can call hell, or a place of comfort, which is not heaven, but a holding place. We see this place in Luke 16:24. We had Lazarus and the rich man, and they both died. The rich man was buried in his fancy tomb. Lazarus, as I said before, was just tossed upon the rubbish heap to be burnt. So it wasn't their physical body that we are talking about here, but their spirit. Their spirits were there in this holding place. And the rich man, in Luke 16:24, he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me and send Lazarus that, you see, he couldn't even give Lazarus the crumbs from off his table. But now, when the mess hit the fan, and he's in a place of torment, he comes out, oh, Lazarus is somebody worth knowing. Before he wasn't worth knowing. Send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. What was being tormented? Was it his physical body? Of course it couldn't be. His physical body was up in the tomb somewhere. Because this is not a parable. I've said it so many times. It says, there was a certain rich man. There was. It didn't say this is any story. Luke 16:25, but Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. So according to the Bible, there is a place of torment. Whether we want to believe it or not is really irrelevant. Because if you classify as wicked, you are going to find out just like the wicked man did. The wicked rich man. Didn't you think that some of those wages I mentioned were an abomination? Didn't you think so? Every year, 3 billion, 4 billion, 1 billion. And we have people all over the world, including in the United States and Britain, who don't know where their next meal is going to come from, as they're taxed up to the hilt. Money is given to us to help other people. God doesn't mind us using it and enjoying it, but He certainly didn't mean it for us to pile it up and hold it back from helping other people.